Hey everyone, I've been getting some cute requests from my daughter lately and I just couldn't resist this one. It was too cute to say no to. And so here it is. And I also added a fun element, the pop. By the way, I'm Janila, the creative mind behind Crafty Crochet Castle. In this fun video tutorial, I'll show you how to crochet a Christmas tree pop fidget. It's perfect as a decor piece or as a fun fidget toy. I've completed a few different styles and I'd love to hear which one you'd like best. Let's get crocheting together. To crochet this project, I'm using super bulky yarn and a 7mm crochet hook. This is burnout blanket yarn and I'm using the colors green and brown. You would also need a tiny amount of yarn in yellow if you would like to attach the star, and if you would like to embroider the ornaments, you would need yarn in other colors as well. You would also need scissors, yarn needle, at least 2 stitch markers, 10mm safety eyes, black yarn to embroider the details, and a tiny amount of polyester fiber fill. The details are in the description box below. Let's get started working on the trees. This pattern is crocheted from the top and we will be going all the way to the bottom, and this is done in one piece. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to crochet a solid color tree. And so we will be starting with the green color and then we will be changing color only when we are at the trunk part. If you would like to crochet a tree that is multicolored like this one, all you have to do is start your pattern with the color of the topmost layer, and then I will be mentioning about color changes, and that's where you can change your color to the next layer. Now let us get started working on the pattern. We will be starting the pattern by doing a magic circle. If you prefer not to work with a magic circle, you can always do chain 2 and work your round 1 stitches in the second chain from the hook. Now let me show you how to do a magic circle. To do so, take your yarn like this and hold it and wrap it around your 2 fingers and cross it over at the point where the yarn meets. Next, pinch at this point and take this little loop out. Now insert your hook inside the loop, yarn over and bring a loop. This yarn is from the skein end, and now make sure to hold everything in place and hold your working yarn and make sure the loop on the hook is of the correct tension, that is, it's not too loose or not too tight, and your hook should be able to move freely. Now yarn over and bring a loop through the loop on the hook, and this is the magic circle. This ring is adjustable and we will be working our round 1 stitches in these 2 strands of yarn over here. Always make sure the loop on the hook is of the correct tension, that is, it's not too loose or not too tight when you're working the stitches. Now let's get started working on round 1. For round 1, I will do 6 single crochet inside the ring. To do a single crochet, I will insert my hook inside the ring, yarn over and bring a loop. So now we have 2 loops on the hook. I will yarn over and bring a loop through the 2 loops on the hook. So this stitch is called as the single crochet, and I will work 5 more single crochets here so that we have a total of 6 single crochet for round 1. So here I have done a total of 6 single crochet. If you would like to count the stitches at any time, always turn your project to the top and you would notice 2 loops over here. The loops are shaped like a V. So these are the 2 loops. Each V is 1 stitch. So once when you have a total of 6 stitches, hold the stitch with one hand and grab the magic circle tail in the other and start pulling the tail very slowly. You would notice this opening is getting smaller and smaller. And once when you pull it all the way, it closes completely. So now this is how the project will look at the end of round 1. For this pattern, we'll be working in rounds, and I'm not going to join with a slip stitch at the end of each round unless I mention it. I'm also using a stitch marker to mark the last stitch of the round. If you do not have a stitch marker, you can use a piece of another color yarn or a bobby pin. By marking the last stitch, we can work on the repeat pattern for the round easily without having to count the total number of stitches. The stitch marker will be very useful when we are working on rounds with lots of stitches. Let's get started working on round 2. For round 2, we will be following a repeat pattern. The repeat pattern is 2 single crochet or a single crochet increase in the next stitch followed by a single crochet in the next stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the very first single crochet that we did here, and I'll be inserting my hook inside the very first single crochet of our project, and then I will be working 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So I will do 1 single crochet here, and I will work another single crochet in the same stitch. This is also called as a single crochet increase, and in the next stitch I will be working 1 single crochet. So I will be repeating this pattern 2 more times over here. So the pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And we have 2 more stitches here. I will be working on the same pattern here. So now we are at the last stitch over here, which is marked by a stitch marker. When you come to this point, you can remove your stitch marker, work the stitches, and since this is going to be the last stitch for my round, I will be placing the stitch marker back in this last stitch. And if your project is shaped like this, make sure to flip it over so that the right side is facing outside. And this is how the project will look at the end of round 2. And to complete round 2, I will be joining with a slip stitch at the back loop only of the next stitch. So we have 2 loops at the top of the stitch that is shaped like a V. The loop that is towards you is called the front loop, and the loop that is away from you is called the back loop. So we will be joining with a slip stitch only at the back loop. So to do a slip stitch, I will insert my hook inside the back loop, yarn over, bring a loop through the stitch and through the loop on the hook. So there we have completed a round 2, and we did a slip stitch over here. Please note that the stitch marker is kept at the last complete stitch, not on the slip stitch. So now let's work on round 3. For this round, we will be working in the back loops only. So I will begin my round by doing a chain 1. To do a chain, I will yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook, and this does not count as a stitch. I will do a single crochet in every stitch around in the back loop only. So in the same stitch where we did the slip stitch, I will work my very first single crochet in the back loop only, and I will work 1 single crochet in the back loop only of all the other stitches. So I will leave the front loop behind and insert my hook only in the back loop, and I will do a single crochet, and I will do this for all the other stitches over here. Here we are at the last stitch, so I'm going to remove the stitch marker over here and work the single crochet for that stitch, and I'm going to place the stitch marker back in the last stitch over here. And this is round 3. We are not going to join with a slip stitch at the end of the round. We have a little ridge between rounds 2 and 3 over here, and this is the front loop only of round 2. It is in these stitches that we will be crocheting our leaf edges directly. So now let's get started working on round 4. If you would like to do a multicolor tree, this is where you would change the color. For round 4, we will be working on both the loops, and we did a chain 1 at the beginning of round 3 over here, and that is not counted as a stitch. So make sure to skip that stitch and work your round 4 stitches on top of the very first single crochet of round 3. So now let's work on the repeat pattern for round 4. The repeat pattern is 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So I will be inserting my hook on top of the single crochet over here, and I will do 2 single crochet or an increase over here. And then I will do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And this is going to be the repeat pattern for the round. I'll be repeating this pattern 2 more times over here. The repeat pattern is a single crochet increase or 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And I'll be repeating it one last time over here. Round 4 will have a total of 12 single crochet. Now let's work on round 5. For this round, the repeat pattern is a single crochet increase or 2 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. I'll be repeating this pattern 2 more times over here. The pattern is 2 single crochet or an increase in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And I'll repeat the pattern one more time to complete the round. Round 5 will have a total of 15 single crochet. And for round 6, the repeat pattern is 2 single crochet or an increase in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So here's my first single crochet, here's my second single crochet, here's my third single crochet, and here's my fourth single crochet. So I will be repeating this pattern 2 more times for this round, and round 6 will have a total of 18 single crochet. And at the end of round 6, I will be joining with a slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. So this is the back loop only of the next stitch, and I will work 1 slip stitch over here. And now let's get started working on round 7. For this entire round, we will be working in the back loops only. So I will do chain 1 here, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and I will do 1 single crochet in the same stitch in the back loop only. This is optional, but you can use a piece of another color stitch marker to mark the very first stitch of this round. Let's work on the remaining stitches in the round. So I will be doing 1 single crochet in the back loop only of all the stitches over here. This round will also have a total of 18 single crochet. This is how the project will look at the end of round 7. We have a ridge over here of front loops alone between round 6 and 7, and this is where we will be crocheting the second leaf edging over here. And now let's get started working on round 8. This is the point where you would change the color again if you would like to have a multicolored tree. So now let's get started working on round 8. For round 8, we will be following a repeat pattern, and we will be working on both the loops over here. So here I have found the very first single crochet over here. Remember to skip the chain 1 because this is not counted as a stitch, and work directly on top of the single crochets. So the repeat pattern for the round is 2 single crochet or an increase in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. This will be the repeat pattern for the round. I'll be repeating this pattern 2 more times over here. I will not be using a stitch marker to mark the first stitch of the round over here. We do not have any chain 1 or any other stitches between the 2 rounds over here. So now I will work the repeat pattern 2 more times over here, and round 8 will have a total of 21 single crochet. For round 9, I will work one single crochet all the way around. So I'll be inserting my hook in the next stitch and work one single crochet, and I will do that for all the stitches in the round. Round 9 will also have a total of 21 single crochet. I will work on this round off camera, and I'll meet you once when I complete all the stitches for round 9. So here I have completed round 9, and this is how the tree looks at this time. Now let's work on round 10. For round 10, I will be working on a repeat pattern, which is 2 single crochet or an increase in the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. I'll be repeating this pattern 2 more times over here, and this round will have a total of 24 single crochet. At the end of this round, I will be joining with a slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch. And now let's get started working on round 11. And in this round, we will be working on the back loop only. So I'm going to begin my round with a chain 1, and I will do a single crochet in the same stitch over here in the back loop only, and I'm going to use another color marker to mark the very first stitch of this round. Once again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. The single crochet only counts as the first stitch. So when we are working on round 12, we will be skipping this chain 1 and work directly on top of the very first stitch, which is marked by a stitch marker over here. So now for this round 11, we will be working 1 single crochet in the back loop only of all the stitches over here. So the round will go like this. And we will have a ridge over here that separates these 2 rounds. So I will work this round off camera, and I'll meet you once when I complete all the stitches for round 11. This round will have a total of 24 single crochet. This is how the project will look at the end of round 11. We have this ridge over here, and this is where we will be crocheting the 3rd set of leaves over here. Now let's work on round 12. For this round, we will be working only in the front loops. So we will be working on the loop that is near you, and we will leave the loop that is behind you, just like that. This round 12 will have a repeat pattern, and the repeat pattern starts with a single crochet 2 together or a single crochet decrease. So to do a single crochet 2 together or a decrease, I'll be inserting my hook in the front loop only of the next stitch. I will yarn over and bring a loop. So now I have 2 loops on the hook. Instead of completing this stitch, I will be inserting my hook inside the next stitch in the front loop only, and then I will yarn over and bring a loop through the stitch. So now we have a total of 3 loops on the hook. I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. So here we have taken 2 stitches in the bottom and completed it as 1 stitch. This is called as the single crochet 2 together or a decrease. And because we worked only in the front loop, we have this ridge on the inside of our project at this time. So now let's get started working on the repeat pattern, and it will be a single crochet in the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. So here I am doing 1 single crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch, and another single crochet in the front loop only on the next stitch. And here we have this ridge on the inside of our project. So this will be the repeat pattern for the remaining stitches in the round. The repeat pattern is a single crochet 2 together in the front loop only, followed by 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So I'll be working on this repeat pattern all the way around till I'm at the stitch marker over here. And this is how the project will look at this time. Now let's work on round 13. For this round also we'll be working only in the front loop. The repeat pattern for this round is a single crochet 2 together or a single crochet decrease in the front loop only, followed by 1 single crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch. So I'll be repeating this pattern all the way around till I'm at the stitch marker over here, and this round will have a total of 12 stitches. This is how our project will begin to look at this time. Now let's work on round 14. For this round also we'll be working in the front loop only. So for this entire round I will do a single crochet 2 together or a single crochet decrease around. This round will have a total of 6 stitches. And at the end of the round, we will be changing the color to a trunk color over here. I'll be using brown. You can change the color in any of your preferred method. So now let me join with a slip stitch in the next stitch. I'll be using both the loops for the slip stitch, and I will be fastening off my yarn over here. To fasten off, I'm going to leave a tail and I'm going to trim the yarn over here. And then I will yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook, and I will bring the tail all the way through like this. And I will tighten this up, and here we have completed the tree. We do not have to stuff this tree, so this portion will go on the inside of a tree like this for a fidget to work. Now let us crochet the trunk. So for that I'm using a brown yarn over here. I will be joining this yarn with a slip stitch in any of the stitch over here, so you can also join in the next stitch. So I will insert my hook inside the next stitch, and I will hold my new yarn like this, and I will yarn over and bring a loop through the stitch, and then I will yarn over and pull through. And you can pull the tail to tighten this up. If you would like the yarn to be more secure, you can tie a knot with the two tails over here, and this will be on the inside of our project, so we do not have to worry about weaving it in or the knot showing through. So now our yarn is more secure over here. At this time I'm going to put the tail inside our tree. Like I said before, there are many different methods to join the yarn. You can use your most preferred one. So now let's get started working on round 15. For this round I will do 1 single crochet in all the stitch around, and this round will have a total of 6 single crochet. I'll be working on both the loops over here. So before I begin my round, I'm going to do a chain 1 over here, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So I will do 1 single crochet in the same stitch, and I will do a single crochet in the remaining 5 stitches. And this is round 15, and I'm going to use a stitch marker to mark the last stitch of the round. Now let's get started working on round 16, and in this round we will be working on both the loops, and we will be increasing the trunk over here. So I will be doing 2 single crochet in every stitch around. So make sure to skip that chain 1 and work your first stitch on top of the single crochet over here. So I will be inserting my hook here, and I will do 2 single crochets, and I will do 2 single crochet in the remaining 5 stitches. For the next 3 rounds, which is round 17, 18 and 19, we'll be working on the same pattern. The pattern is 1 single crochet all the way around. Each round will have a total of 12 single crochet, and I'll be working in continuous rounds over here. So what I'll be doing is I'll just work 1 single crochet in all the stitches in both the loops for the next 3 rounds like this. So I'll be working this off camera, and I'll meet you once when I complete round 19. This is how the project will look after completing 19 rounds. At this time, I'm going to attach eyes to our project over here. So I will be using a safety eyes over here, and this is 10 mm safety eyes. You can also embroider eyes if you would like that, and I will be inserting the eyes in round 16 over here. And a little tip over here, after attaching the washer to the back of the safety eye, I always add hot glue over here so the washer stays in place. I'm going to wait for this to dry. Once the glue is dried, I'm going to flip the project to the right side outside, and I'm going to stuff the trunk with polyester fiber fill. We do not need to stuff the tree, we just need to stuff the trunk portion. So I'm going to take my polyester fiber fill, break it apart into smaller pieces so that we do not have any bulky spots when we feel the trunk. And then I'm going to stuff it in. You would only need a tiny amount of stuffing for this project. And now we can get started working on the last round over here, which is round 20. So for this round, we will be working only in the back loops. I will be joining with a slip stitch in the back loop only of the next stitch over here. And I will do chain 1, and I will work 1 single crochet in the back loop only of all the stitches for this round. After completing 12 single crochet for round 20, I will join with a slip stitch at the top of the very first single crochet over here, and I will be joining on both the loops. And we can fasten off our yarn over here. We will be using this tail to close the opening of the tree, so make sure the tail is long enough. We can embroider the mouth later. So before you close, if you would like to add more stuffing to the trunk of the tree, make sure to do so at this time and fill only up to round 19, because this round will become flat to our trunk over here and we do not want a curved bottom. Now let me show you how to close the opening. To do so, I'm going to take a yarn needle and I'm going to thread the tail in it. And I will insert this needle in the front loop of all the stitches remaining in the last round. So I will leave the back loop behind and I will use only the front loop. So once when we work through all the stitches, all you have to do is grab the tail and pull it. See how the opening is getting closed? If you find it harder and if your yarn is splitting up, you can use an acrylic yarn to close the opening as well. So in order to keep this more secure, you can weave it in all the stitches one more time over here. And once when you do this, we can weave in the tail. To weave in for any amigurumi, all we have to do is insert your needle next to the last stitch over here and bring the needle through the stuffing on the inside of the project and pull it out in any random spot. Do not pull it too tight, as we do not want our project to lose its shape. So make sure to leave enough yarn over here, and then we can trim the tail. To become a fidget, all you have to do is hold the trunk and push it inside. These front loop only stitches will be the bottom of our tree over here. So you can also adjust it accordingly for the pop fidget to work as expected. So here we have crocheted the tree and the trunk in one piece. Let us crochet the leaf edging. We will be crocheting these in the front loop only of round 2, 6 and 10. Make sure to hold your tree like this, that is the top of the tree facing you and the trunk facing away from you, and we will be using the same color as that of the tree when we are crocheting the leaf edging. I would recommend you to start on the front loop only of round 10. So I will be joining my green yarn with a slip stitch to any of the front loop over here. You can choose any stitch. Make sure to insert your hook through the front loop and join the yarn with a slip stitch. Slip stitch is part of the repeat pattern as well. So the repeat pattern would be a single crochet in the next stitch. We will be working only in the front loop only for this entire round, and I will be doing a half double crochet in the same stitch as well. To do a half double crochet, I will yarn over, insert my hook inside the same stitch, yarn over and bring a loop. So now we have a total of 3 loops on the hook. I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. So this stitch is called as the half double crochet, and it is slightly taller than the single crochet. Now I will do chain 1 over here, and we will be working a half double crochet and a single crochet in the next stitch, that is in the front loop only. So I will work a half double crochet in the next stitch, followed by a single crochet in the next stitch, and this is the end of the repeat pattern. So the repeat pattern for this round is a slip stitch in the next stitch, followed by a single crochet, half double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1 and a half double crochet, single crochet in the next stitch. And I will be working on this repeat pattern all the way around over here. I will do this off camera, and I will meet you once when I complete working on all the stitches. Here I'm working the last repeat over here. And at the end of the repeat, I will do a slip stitch in the next stitch, which happens to be the first stitch as well, and then I will fasten off over here. And we can put these 2 tails on the inside of our project over here, and this is how the leaf edging will look. And I will repeat this pattern for the front loop only of round 6 and round 2. We will have a fewer repeats for these 2 rounds, and I will meet you once when I complete for these 2 rounds. This is the second leaf edging, and I'll work on the last leaf edging, and I'll meet you once when I complete that. This is how the project looks after adding the leaf edging at the end of round 2. Now we have all these tails over here. I will be weaving these tails to the inside of our project. So one way to weave it in is to take the yarn needle, thread the tail in it, and you can bring the tail to the inside of our project and leave the tail on the inside. So this is one way you can weave it in. Another way would be to take a smaller hook, insert this hook on a random stitch over here and bring it next to the tail like this, and then I will grab the tail and I will bring the tail to the inside of our project. And you can leave it on the inside like this. The same way I will weave in all these tails, and I'll meet you once when I weave it in. At this time we can embroider the mouth to our project over here. So I am taking a black yarn and needle, and I will be embroidering the mouth. And I'll be weaving in this tail as well. This is the finished tree. Now let me show you how to crochet a star. I'm using a yellow color yarn and a 7mm crochet hook. I'll start the pattern by doing a magic circle. Let's get started working on the star points. So for that I will do a single crochet inside the magic circle, followed by a chain 2 picot. To do so, I will do chain 2 here and then a slip stitch in the very first chain that we did. So I will insert my hook inside the first chain over here and do a slip stitch. So this forms a pointed edge over here, and this is the first point of our star. I will be repeating this pattern 4 more times over here so that we have a 5 pointed star. So once again, the repeat pattern is a single crochet, chain 2 picot, and this is our second point. I will repeat this 3 more times over here. And after completing 5 points of a star over here, I'm going to close the magic circle opening. For that, I'm going to grab the tail and slowly pull it so the opening is closed. So once when the opening is completely closed, I'm going to join with a slip stitch on top of the very first single crochet over here. So if you're using a bigger yarn over here like me, you would probably not see the stitch. You can just feel the very first single crochet and work a slip stitch in that stitch. And here we have completed our star. Now we can fasten off over here, leaving a long tail. We will be using this tail to sew the star, so make sure the tail is long enough. For finishing, you can attach the star at the top of our tree. If you have added the facial details to the tree, make sure the star is attached at the top of it like this. So for attaching the star, I will thread the long tail in a yarn needle and I will position it on top of the tree like this, and I will begin sewing it. I will be attaching these 2 points of the star at the side of our tree so that the star can remain upright. And you can also embroider some details using the same tail. You can also use the yarn to embroider some ornaments. I've used 3 different colors of yarn to embroider the ornament, and this is how the finished tree looks like. And here is the fun element, the pop fidget. This tree would stand by itself and would make an excellent decor as well. You can also crochet the tree without any star or ornaments, and this is how the tree fidget would look like. And here is the tree that I crocheted with 3 different colors, and this would make an excellent decor too. I hope you enjoy crocheting this along with me. Please show your support by subscribing to my channel, and thank you for watching.